Who was here with a pocket watch? Roberta Gerard, a domestic servant employed by Mr. and Mrs. Schuyler Whitney. It was her. But what shall I do? What?
Something tells me you did not have a good afternoon.
No, I did not.
Meaning you couldn't find anything for Schuyler's Christmas present.
I went to all the trouble to find that nice little watchmaker that Sky told me about.
Didn't he have anything you wanted?
Well, he had some beautiful things, although he didn't have any with music boxes.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Well, what's wrong with that is that Schuyler has already replaced the watch that he lost.
Yes?
Yes, I can't believe it. He bought it himself from the same little old jeweler. I mean, that's a dirty trick.
Is Spencer here?
He's putting the car away. Hello?
Raven, well, this is your delightful businessman husband calling.
Well, hello, precious. And did you have a very nice little meeting?
Yes, I've done about all the damage I can here. I've called a cab, and I guess I should be home in about a half hour.
Good, because I'm really looking forward to seeing you. You know why? I want you to tell me something.
Oh? About what?
I want you to tell me why you bought yourself a second pocket watch.
Well, how did you find out about that?
Never mind that, dear, but I'll give you half an hour to think of a good answer.
Quite the end of the world, you know. I'm sure there are other gifts that Schuyler will appreciate.
Now, you name me one thing Schuyler doesn't have.
Well, it isn't easy, I agree.
Well, I didn't think he had a watch because Bobbie stole his only watch, but obviously he even has that.
Perhaps you can think of something else that's old and unique.
Well, I just don't want to show off.
Why, Raven, I thought that was your profession.
Well, I mean, not in front of other people.
Of course.
So there you are.
Oh, hello. I'm in the doghouse.
Mm-hmm. If you'll excuse me.
So, what is the great crime that I've committed?
Oh, you know very well what you did.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I bought a watch. Well, that's a pretty terrible crime, all right? I think it carries the death sentence in some states.
Schuyler, you know what I mean. It's a crime because you didn't tell me about it.
If it's such a secret, how did you find out about it?
Well, the man told me.
What man?
The jeweler, the same place where you bought this.
Well, how did you find out about him? I mean, he's not exactly the neighborhood jeweler.
Yes, I know. I had to go way over to the other side of town in order to buy it, but I remember that you told me that he fixed your watch when it was running slow.
Yeah, that's right, he did.
And I thought that maybe I could replace the watch that you lost, and then I thought maybe it could be a Christmas present. So what happened when I walked in there? You told me you already bought a watch.
Yeah, that's right. When I was in there, I got 2 watches, one for you and one for me.
Oh, you thought the other watch was getting lonely.
Look, as it turns out, it's a good thing that I did because the original is missing now. So, what's all the fuss anyway?
Well, I just thought you should have told me about it. Guess I'll forgive you.
Well, thank you.
Is it hot in here or something? You're sweating.
Something tells me that the peace hasn't exactly been restored here.
I don't know, Schuyler. Lately, I don't understand you.
I rarely understand you, but I mean, that's all right. It adds to the romance, the mystery.
Well, you're pretty mysterious yourself. I mean, I don't understand. What's with all the secrecy about this stupid watch?
I just didn't want to hurt your feelings.
I thought we weren't supposed to have any secrets from each other. Didn't we agree to that?
Mm-hmm.
Besides, We have another secret that's a lot more important.
Yes, that's right, we do. That's why I bought you this. Remember what I told you when I gave it to you, that I wanted to keep time with you?
Yes. Oh, it stopped working.
You sure?
Yes.
Well, maybe you forgot to wind it.
No, I never do.
Well, then, have it fixed.
Well, I could have had it fixed when I went to the jeweler.
I'll get it. Hello? Who? I'm sorry, could you speak up a little bit, please?
Is this the Whitney house?
Yes, that's right. This is Mr. Whitney.
Mr. Whitney, Bernie Hoffman, the Hoffman Jewelers. You know,
What can I do for you?
please, excuse me for calling you at your home. I have something to ask you.
About what?
About this girl who worked for you? The one you sent to have your watch fixed?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
Well, I saw in the papers what happened to her.
Yes, that was tragic.
I read the story. I didn't see anything about her, you know, coming to my shop. This must have happened a little while after she left here.
Well, why does that concern you?
Well, I just thought I should call the police. Tell them only there may be a fuss, you know, and I'm an old man. My health isn't so good.
Yes. Listen, I'll tell you what. Why don't I come on over there and the two of us can talk about it?
You mean now?
Yes, right now.
Skylar Gordon Whitney, I don't care what that phone call was about. Surely you are not going out again tonight.
I'm sorry, Angel. This is something that I've got to take care of right away.
But why now, all of a sudden?
Because it came up all of a sudden. I mean, I'm really sorry, but that's the way things work. The telephone rings and I'm presented with a whole new set of problems. I've just got to set my priorities.
Well, I'm just wondering when your wife is going to be your #1 priority.
Oh, now, come on, Angel. Be cooperative, will you? Be a sport. I'll be back soon, I promise.
Yes, Officer Sam. How are you, my friend? Came by to see a no man, huh?
Oh, I was just wondering why you're open so late, sir.
Well, I'm waiting for a customer. A very special customer. Sometimes you have to accommodate people and go beyond the time.
Yeah, well, don't stay open too late, sir. You've got to look out for your health. See you.
Sam! Nothing, my friend. Nothing.
Choo-choo, solid flesh would melt.
Cliff, this is no time to stand around sounding like the Prince of Tragedy, okay?
So I can't help it, Calvin. I'm very upset about this whole watch business.
Yeah, well, being upset is not going to solve the problem. We've got to think this thing out, all right?
Well, I have thought about it, and so far all I come up with is only you, me, Gavin, and Jody take this business seriously.
Yeah, I know that, and that's exactly why we've got to start digging deeper.
If Gavin could only remember the name of the jeweler that Bobbie went to see.
Why don't you just try making a few phone calls, huh?
Calvin, there are a lot of jewelers in Monticello.
Cliff, will you shut up and start digging?
Yes, you did, and Skylar was in it.
What happened?
Got a phone call from somebody and went off to some stupid meeting or another.
And you're irritated.
Yes.
My dear Raven, if you'll take my advice, which is not at all likely, I think it's time you and Skylar had a vacation together.
You know, I've been thinking the same thing, too, but he just seems so preoccupied lately, and I just can't seem to get through to him. It just makes me so angry.
Raven, why don't you talk to Skylar about it? I think you both need a change from the unhappy events in this house over the past few months.
You know, you're absolutely right. I'm just so sick of all this. I'm gonna make him take me someplace far away so I can just forget all of this.
Good evening, Mr. Hoffman.
Yes, Mr. Whitney, I've been waiting for you, sir. You shouldn't have come all the way down here just to see me.
Oh, nonsense. I thought it was important.
But you've taken a great deal of trouble.
No trouble at all. You see, I'm concerned about you, my friend.
Very kind, I'm sure.
In a way, I'm responsible for the trouble that you're in.
Trouble?
But I am here to help so that you don't have to worry.
I have to worry?
Now, let me see if I can explain things to you so that we can reach an understanding. Bobbie Gerard was a new maid at my house. She was only working for a few days. And she was a bit careless. She began looking at my pocket watch, and she dropped it and decided that she would bring it here to be repaired. Unfortunately for you.
Why is it unfortunate for me?
Well, that's what I'm going to tell you, and that's the reason that I feel somewhat responsible. Let me put it to you this way. This is the last known stop that Bobbie made last night. I imagine that after she left here, she went out and tried to hitch a ride. More than likely, she got in the car with some awful maniac. A sex maniac, Mr. Hoffman. Shortly after that, she died so tragically. And you know the police, the first thing they might think of, but you know what I mean. You are a widower, I believe. I mean, you are here alone, aren't you?
What are you saying? Do you think that the police might think that I assaulted the poor child?
Well, you know how anxious they are to solve these cases, Mr. Hoffman.
But I'm an old man. I'm a very sick man. I have heart trouble. I don't know what to do.
The police are capable of some very sick thinking, Mr. Hoffman. Now, if I were you, for your own sake, I wouldn't tell them anything about Bobbie Gerard being here. And I tell you what, I won't say anything to them either. I guarantee it.
But perhaps it would help. Maybe they could find the people.
Maybe they would think that you were responsible, Mr. Hoffman.
But if I just told them the truth?
They'd think that you did it. Is that what you want? Do you want them to think that you did it, that you're a lecherous old man, Hoffman, that you're a murderer?
No, please, no. I had nothing to do with it. She was just a customer. A customer.
All right, Mr. Hoffman. There's nothing to get worked up over. Everything is going to be all right, as long as you're silent. And I will do everything that I can to protect you, I guarantee that.
Thank you, Mr. Whitney. Thank you. It's all so terrible to think about.
I know. Now, just don't you worry, Mr. Hoffman. Everything will work out fine. Oh, but just remember, your safety is your silence.
We can just take off away from here and forget about all these troubles, and maybe by the time we get back, the curse will be lifted off this house.
Of course it will.
And you know what? I'll tell him that that's what I want for Christmas. A second honeymoon. I mean, our first honeymoon was cut short, and Skylar has promised me that he would take me on a second one.
That sounds fair enough. Do you have any ideas about location?
Yes. Switzerland. Christmas in Switzerland. It will be beautiful. Like the mountains, snow, sleigh bells, a big roaring fire, and a very expensive chateau. Oh, God, it'll be great. I'll insist on it. I just won't take no for an answer. And Skylar had just better be prepared.
Mr. Hoffman. Clifford Nelson, we spoke on the phone.
The old boy looks like he's falling asleep. Hey, Mr. Hoffman, wake up. Wake up, Mr. Hoffman.